Would you rather see Super Mario naked, Link naked, or Stephanie McMahon from the WWE naked? Stay tuned and find out next. What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Zach, and I'm bringing you the newest edition of the Dork Side. This is episode 2, and the date is 9/20/2017. The Dork Side, what is it? I may not have been clear last time, and for those of you who have listened, probably figured it out. It's a podcast that is branched out from the Big Lip Radio Show, which is our main show, and all we do is talk about dork stuff. Video games, wrestling, naked women in wrestling, naked people in video games. I mean, whatever you want to talk about, as long as it has to do with video games and dork stuff, we're all about it. So today, we have a crazy show for you. We have a lot of different things besides Super Mario being naked. We have Super Mario 64 online. We got WWE No Mercy predictions. Yes, that's coming up this Sunday. Obviously, we're going to go into some nostalgia. We got Destiny 2 gripes. Overwatch has some content for us. Some news about Toys R Us and Forza 7. So, stick around. It might be a great show. So, as you're wondering, as the intro states, you can probably see Super Mario naked, Link naked, or Stephanie McMahon from the WWE naked. Well, I got great news for you. You can see all three. Now, it's not necessarily a big deal, but if you're a nerd like me and you combine all these things and naked, it's great. So, why can you see Super Mario naked? Well, with Super Mario Odyssey that's coming out for the Nintendo Switch, you can see Super Mario shirtless. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can see him frolicking along a beach with no shirt on. And this is the first time that I can remember that he is shirtless. Now, for whatever reason, he has square nipples. Yes, guys, ladies and gentlemen, he has square nipples. Now, the reason behind the nakedness is because Nintendo is trying to prove that Super Mario is human. Well, I mean, given the fireball coming out of his mouth and the stars that make him run super fast, how can he be human? I think they want him to appear more human, more to the common crowd, more to the, hey, I'm Super Mario, I'm here, I'm okay, I'm real, I'm not just this guy that's plumbing around shooting fireballs out of my mouth. So it's almost like they're trying to get people to think that he's down to earth, frolicking along a beach with no shirt on. So I guess that's what normal people do. And, it is what normal people do, but I don't think normal people shoot fireballs out of their mouth and jump around with glowy star power. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous, but Nintendo's trying to take a different turn to bring him down to earth more. And I guess with Super Mario Galaxy, they're far away from Earth as you possibly can be. So, the newest game, though, is Super Mario Odyssey, and it looks great like any other of the Super Mario games are. I can say that Super Mario 64 is one of my favorite Super Mario games of all time. I've had so much fun with that. But Super Mario Odyssey, honestly, who cares? I do, and every other millions of fans in this world that has a Nintendo Switch and enjoys Super Mario games. That's who. So, get a Switch, pick up Super Mario Odyssey. It's going to be fun. They have 8-bit levels, so you jump down a warp pipe, and all of a sudden the game transforms into 8-bit. It's not a drastic change. It's a subtle change. So he goes down the pipe, and the perspective of the camera changes, so now instead of being like an isometric third person, it's a 2D view. They did it very well. I saw video clips of it, and I can't be more excited. I don't have a Switch myself, but this might be the game that goes ahead and gets me to buy a Switch. You know how everybody always has that one game that gets you to buy that one console? Well, for whatever reason, this Super Mario Odyssey is definitely irking my chain for that game. So irking my chain, and he's shirtless with square nipples. Why he has square nipples, I don't know. But of course, you can see Link naked. I mean, it's not too hard. He's naked in his new game for the Nintendo Switch, Legend of Zelda. Stephanie McMahon, for those of you who are not a WWE wrestling fan, knows that there's definitely a nipple slip that Stephanie McMahon has. So, yes, it is possible that you can see all three of these naked. You just got to go look for it. But, I mean, Stephanie McMahon, for those of you who don't know the McNag name, she's pretty much the dominator female role in WWE. She runs the place, she runs the show, runs the business, and marries who she wants when she wants. Not to mention names, Test or Hunter Hearst Helmsley. For those of you who are fans, you know this. But yes, remember Test, back in the day, she was marrying Test. I don't know if it was a forced marriage. I can't recall if one of these marriages was forced, but I have a feeling it was, and I think it was Test where they were going to get married. They got a divorce, and then obviously she moved on to bigger and better things, which is Triple H. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, for those of you who do not know. Everybody's naked, playing in video games, WWE. What? It can't get any better than this. How are you going to top naked video games besides just coming out with naked video games? Well, I guess there was one time where a video game, before it was mainstream to be naked and everything, they had naked characters as one of the unlockables, or you could put in a code to make them topless. And the game I'm referring to is BMX XXX. Not only are there dogs pooping on lawns, there's topless women riding bikes, and they're blondes with big boobs. Once again, one of my favorite games. It's got a lot of great memories behind it. It's one of the games that you just had to get if you were under a certain age and you weren't allowed to normally be around that kind of stuff. Well, this game got you closer to it. And it was your standard BMX game, same controls as Dave Mirra. I can't say same controls as Tony Hawk because it was a skateboarding game. But much like skateboarding games, all usually had the same controls as Tony Hawk did. This BMX XXX was pretty fun, not innocent, and it was enjoyable all at the same time. Fun and enjoyable, I guess they're the same. But who cares? It's great. So, Super Mario and his nipples. I thought you were going to be able to see him in the Super Mario 64 online. For those of you who don't know, there was a modder that went ahead and put out an online version of Super Mario 64. One of my favorite games, if you didn't hear me mention that earlier, for the Nintendo 64 and of the Super Mario series. Super Mario 64 online, a modder came out with that, and actually it worked. It was great. You could pick from any of the gang of Mario. You got Peach, you got Toad, you got Luigi, you got Waluigi, or Waluigi, however you want to call it. And I think you got a few others. I forget the tall, skinny one's name. Not Luigi, but I guess it's like another cousin or Waluigi's cousin. I don't know. And he had Wario as well. So or maybe Waluigi is a tall, skinny one. Duh. So I'm just now remember that. I apologize. It's 9:01 p.m. I'm currently employed now, so I'm slaying the dragon. It's great. I can't do these shows in the middle of the afternoon like bums would. But, you know, it's here. It's now. It's live. And it's for you guys. But Super Mario 64 Online was online and was operational for a good week and a half, 2 weeks, or at least that I played it. You obviously can get it on your PC. It's not necessarily on the console. But because it is called Super Mario 64 Online, what would you think is going to happen? I'm just going to go ahead and let you guess. I'll take a second. Normally I'd play a sound effect, but I don't think it's worthy enough for a sound effect. So, yes, you guessed it. Copyright. Nintendo shut these guys down, I think today, because of copyright laws and infringements. Now, clearly you can't go put a game online called Super Mario 64 Online without feeling the wrath of Nintendo. But from what I remember, this guy's not making any money. I don't know why these I guess I do know why, because it's their property. But I don't know why they just don't help out in a way. Like Nintendo, for example, instead of closing down such a great mod, such as Super Mario 64 Online, why don't they go ahead and back it and make it grow and make it become something? Because there's a lot of people on there. You could have, I think, 10 people online in one Super Mario World. You could go roam around the castle. You could have races. You could actually do levels. You can make up your own games, much like you can in any other online game. It was really fun, and the guy did such a great job. I can't mention names because I don't want to get in trouble. But he did such a great job and it's closed down. Why wouldn't you run with something like that? Why wouldn't you back it? Why wouldn't you throw ads in there and claim a percentage or all the profits because it's your title? Let this guy keep running it online for free. I mean, I don't think Nintendo is like that. Obviously, that's why they closed it down. But if they were to leave it open, I don't think they just make the dude run it for free. They might take it over. They might pay the guy, or because obviously they have other bigger, better things on their plate to deal with. This could be like a side gig and make a couple extra bucks off it. I mean, who wouldn't want to do something of that? I know I would want to do that, but some people are just different and they have their own reasons. But there's other games that have done this too, where they come out with mods and then they end up getting closed down. I don't know why they just don't back them. Just back them. Help them out. Let them become something. I know a game called Phantasy Star Online. It's not necessarily modded, but it is private server. So these guys are making money off it from donations. I know Sega and Sonic Team and all these guys still own the rights for that game. So why aren't they coming after these guys? Because they understand that when great things happen, you let it happen. Otherwise, you're going to get backlash. Now, the modding community for Nintendo may not be as crazy as Sega's, and it's readily available. Nintendo's still currently active. Sega and Sonic Team with Phantasy Star Online is not currently active. So I guess I can see, but still, let it happen. Help them out. Bring me in. I'll do it. I'll run it for you guys. But we all know that that's not going to happen. But what can happen is this Sunday, you guys can tune into the WWE Network and watch... I was going to say Super Mario 64 Online, but you can watch WWE No Mercy. Now, it's one of their pay-per-views they have. It's great because of the matches. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with what's going on in the WWE, SmackDown Live just happened on Tuesday and Raw happened on Monday. Each show was 3 hours. SmackDown pretty much sum it all up in one ball. Mr. McMahon got the living hell kicked out of him from Kevin Owens, KO, and now obviously KO is going to pay. So he's going to pay in a Hell in a Cell versus Shane McMahon. Now that's pretty cool. I'm excited for that. Let me make sure. This is not a SmackDown pay-per-view, so you will not see any of that happening. But what you will see, let's start with the crappy ones. So for the Cruiserweight Championship, you got Neville versus Enzo Amore. Let me back up a little bit. This is a Raw pay-per-view. So you will see mainly Raw shows, Raw characters. Raw, I think, has the better wrestlers. SmackDown has a better story. So you got Finn Balor on Raw, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, they're all competing. The Miz, Jason Jordan, which is, I call him Kurt Angle's illegitimate son because we don't know for sure, and I think it's a gimmick. But you know what? It's a great gimmick because just look at him. I mean, you'll understand why it's great. So for the Cruiserweight Championship, you got Neville versus Enzo Amore. Enzo Amore can't wrestle to save his life, but he does have the mouth of the South, and he's the realest G in the room, and you can't teach that. So despite being the newest member of the Cruiserweight division, which Amore is, he managed to cheat his way to a fast title shot. If you've been following, Enzo Amore does nothing but talk and doesn't really wrestle and always gets the living hell kicked out of him, which happened this last Monday on Raw. So I have a feeling, I want to say they're going to make Enzo Amore win, but you never know. Things could change. Neville is clearly the better wrestler of the two, but I think they're trying to give Enzo somewhat of a push to give him the leg up. I mean, he's dedicated. He's always there, whether he wrestles or not. He's always talking crap. I don't think there's been an episode where I haven't seen him, even when his bro, Big Cass, was beating the living hell out of him. He's always there, always taking a beating, being hung in cages. I think he's paid his dues. Give him a belt. I mean, they gave it to Kevin Owens. Who did he beat? John Cena? I mean, that's back when they were on, or John Cena was on SmackDown. But still, I mean, why can't it happen to Enzo? So hopefully Enzo wins. I expect Neville to win, but I really want Enzo to win, and I'm going to go with Enzo. Next match of the night is going to be Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. You thought it was over? Apparently not. I guess Way interfered in a recent Battle Royal, eliminating Balor. before, disappearing into the night. So he pretty much popped in, eliminated him, and then rolled out. So I want Finn Balor to win. I hope he's in his get-up. The Demon, he's got demons too, just like Bray Wyatt's, and the demons are going to collide, and we're going to see whose demon's the best. They're probably going to give it to Bray, but I want Finn to win, so I'm going to go with Finn. You got your Intercontinental Championship, The Miz versus Jason Jordan, who's Kurt Angle's illegitimate child. So they're going to give it to The Miz. Jason Jordan's fighting his way up through the ranks. He doesn't really have... he's got the experience, but he has zero mic skills. I don't know why they'd give it to him. He needs to learn mic skills and charisma real fast, and The Miz has all of that. So I'm going to go with, The Miz. The Miz is going to take it. The Miz has deserved it. He's kept it for this long. He'll keep his Intercontinental Championship. As far as tag team goes, you got Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus Sheamus and Cesaro. So Sheamus and Cesaro are the challengers. They're using their rematch, so it's just an ongoing feud. Nothing crazy. It's Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins are the two-thirds of the Shield, so it's pretty cool to see them reunited. I have a feeling they're going to take the tag team. Dean Ambrose. God damn, I'm just going to call him Ambrose. Ambrose and Rollins are going to take it versus Sheamus and Cesaro. And then you got, the Women's Championship is far down, has fallen. They're still trying to push it. It was great for a little while. At the beginning of the year, I was pretty into it, but for whatever reason, they must have just not had time to keep up on the story and dropped it. But you got Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax versus Emma versus Bayley. Yes, Bayley is back. So it was supposed to be a one-on-one match, but then it turned into a fatal four-way, and then it turned into a fatal five-way. So yes, if you've kept up on Raw, you'll understand why. But I think, Alexa Bliss is going to keep it. She's short, hot, looks like a Harley Quinn. Why wouldn't you give a belt to somebody who's those types of qualities? Your next match, which I'm pretty excited for, just because I hope the other shuts the other up. You got John Cena versus Roman Reigns. John Cena needs to destroy Roman Reigns and bury him. I cannot let the fact go that they let Roman Reigns retire The Undertaker. He couldn't even perform a couple of the moves, and you can see it. Yes, they were tired, but Undertaker is so much older than Reigns and did great. He was in Hell in a Cell and was almost landed on by Shane McMahon from the Hell in a Cell. Thank God The Undertaker moved. But still, that match was great, and they'll always be with me. And when you put Roman Reigns up with a guy that's been in a match like that and a normal match and can't even do half the moves, I don't think he deserves it, man. Roman Reigns, I think John Cena's right. Roman Reigns is a wannabe. They are trying to make him like the John Cena of Raw. That's why they brought John Cena back from SmackDown to Raw. So Roman Reigns needs to just go away and leave everybody alone. It is not his yard. He doesn't even have good mic skills, and clearly John Cena is going to destroy him. So I'm going to go with John Cena. The final match, and I'm super excited for, but leading up to it, I kind of think it's a given. You got the Universal Championship match, Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. I have a good feeling they're going to give it to Braun Strowman. He's been destroying everything in his path. I don't know why he wouldn't do it. On Monday Night Raw, he made a statement and just destroyed Enzo for talking all the crap he was. Just came out and just clotheslined the hell out of him right on the ramp and just drug him to the stage. But the week before, Braun Strowman came out and just decimated Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar put him through Suplex City. One German suplex, which is Suplex City from Brock Lesnar. Strowman popped to his feet and just annihilated Brock. So after they built Brock up this much, I don't know how they couldn't give it Braun up this much. I don't know how they couldn't give it to Braun Strowman. Brock has just been getting his ass thrown around the ring by Braun. So Braun is going to take it. Let me know how you guys feel. Go to our Facebook page, Big Lip Radio. Comment in the sections. Let me know who you think is going to win. You can let me know on all the matches, but I'm mainly curious about the championship match, Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. So That's going to be exciting. That comes up this Sunday. What's that date? It's going to be Sunday the 24th. Yes, Sunday the 24th. So please tune in and let me know what you thought. But without further ado, nostalgia. Oh, yeah, baby. Nostalgia. Let me explain what nostalgia is. Nostalgia is a game that I came up with where I take 3 main theme songs of games. So pretty much when you turn the game on and you hear that song that comes on right at the main intro, I take that song, I compile it into one clip for you guys to listen to, and you guys got to figure out the year that those games came out in. So essentially you have to figure out 2 things. You have to figure out at least one of the game. That's how you get 3 chances. As long as you figure out one of the games, you'll be able to figure out the year because they're all in the same year. And then go to Big Lip Radio's Facebook page, write the year down in our comment section. Since it's timestamp, I'll be able to find out who the winner is. And the winner of this week's Nostalgia, let me look, his name is Sam Wilkins from PA. Sam, you just won yourself a little rechargeable keychain battery pack, and it's for any Android devices. And it gives your phone or tablet or any Android device 2 hours of battery life, and you can recharge that thing too. So there you go. Now this week on Nostalgia, the year. Let me go ahead and go over the year before I move on to this week's. So the old year for the last week's Nostalgia was 2004, and the first song you guys heard was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The second one was Half-Life 2, and the third one was the World of Warcraft theme. So I try to put some from each console in there, just in case you guys all don't just play Xbox like myself and everybody else I know. Now you all have a chance. So this week's Nostalgia, let's go ahead and get into it. Pay attention. You got 3 chances.
Diplomacy on curious, fire on the concrete and bloodstains on the surface. Tried for our freedom so the world heard it, observe it, anarchy emerges. Lambs overcame the lions, our souls versus science. They control versus our violence. Bring your riot gear and bring your sirens. You won't be stopped and we won't be silent.
Oh, yes. One of my favorites.
Nostalgia. Nostalgia.
Yep. That's it for you guys. So if you heard in the first one, I threw in Nostalgia to blank out the name of the game. So that wasn't an accident. That was literally there on purpose. Otherwise, you guys it would be no challenge. The point of this game is to be a challenge. So what you will win this week, if you guess it correctly by going to BigLipRadio.com and or Big Lip Radio's Facebook page and typing in the comment section the year, you will win Destiny 2, what are they called again? I'm spacing it. Engram codes. I have 2 Engram codes from the Rockstar promotion that they're doing right now. All I do is go drink the Rockstars, pull the tabs off, and give them to you guys. So yes, if you would like 2 engrams for Destiny, it doesn't matter which console, go ahead and comment Big Lip Radio's Facebook page the year you think that game came out, or one of these games came out in. I don't care about the name of the game. Just tell me the year, and that'll suffice. So, speaking of Destiny, I got a few things to go into about Destiny, and some are good, some are bad, and some are like, who cares? The first thing I want to talk about is Xur. Now, this last Friday, they went ahead and they let Xur come back. Now, Xur is no longer in the towers. He's on a planet, and Bungie decided it'd be a great idea to go ahead and just tell you where he's at on the planet, which I was not prepared for, because now what's the point of going to find this black market dealer if everybody already knows where he is? I mean, can't the police just go get him now? There's coordinates. So I was hoping what they would do is put him on a planet and make us all go find him, which would have been great. Clearly, if one or two people find it, yes, they'd post online. You can go do it. But I can choose not to look online and go try to find him myself. So I was hoping that happens, but no, they told you where he was. This time he was on Nessus. He was in one of the trees, and he brought crap. Now, some of you may disagree with me, but I consider crap things that you can already find in the game. Black market dealers usually have things you can't find in real life, or in video games. That's why they're black market dealers, because they're under the radar. They got things that nobody else has, and that's why you go to them. I guess sometimes it's for cheap too, but in this case it wasn't. I guess it was cheap depending on who you are and how often you play. So the gear that he brought, let me let you know what you have to do in order to buy this gear is use your legendary shards. So when you break down a legendary or up weapon, you'll get shards, and that's the currency you use to purchase these items. So he brought a Merciless, which is a fusion rifle. It's not a bad rifle, but it's definitely a rifle I can find in the game for free and not have to spend any legendary shards, because the legendary shards are also the same currency you use to upgrade your weapons. So you fuse two weapons together to give you the higher score of the weapons. But in this case, you can just go buy the Merciless. Then he has the Raiden Flux, which is a Hunter chest piece. That costs 23 legendary shards. So I don't know if I mentioned this. The Merciless fusion rifle costs 29. He has the Doom Fang Paladron, the Titan Gauntlets, which are 23 legendary shards. The Wings of Sacred Dawn, which is a Warlock chest piece, and that's 23 legendary shards as well. So I guess each of the items is at a power level of 270, base power 265. So that legendary mod that it comes with puts 5 extra, points on it. So do not try to infuse this with another weapon that's lower, because you'll just get 265, and that's another thing I think is crap. I don't know why. Let us take the mod off, at least, so we can use it to our benefit if we don't want it on the weapon. But no, they put this mod on that weapon, and you can't really infuse it because it'll be a 265 rather than a 270. So that's kind of crap as well. But instead of just complaining and not having any solutions, I have a solution. And I bet you everybody else have thought of this too. Why not make weapons and items and armors and shaders that you can only get from Xur? Make it so you can't find Xur. And when you do find him, it's even more of a treat, because now you get all this stuff you can't get from just playing the game normally. Xur, they did this in the first one. I didn't really care for it because I thought the first one was just great and I was all about it, and I didn't really care how they did it. But after having a number 2, make Xur have items you can't get normally playing the game. It makes sense. Why wouldn't it make sense? I mean, he's a black market dealer. You're already using legendary shards. I mean, give him a set of weapons, like change it up. You guys have plenty of time to come up with this stuff. Do it in the new update. I don't care. There's no point in me going to Xur if I can just find this stuff, because I'll just play the game. Now, it may be that they did this for the people who don't play the game on a regular basis, like those people that still only have 20 to 30 hours in the game because they have, lives and families and kids and things of that nature. We're not all 290s and 280s, John Pills and James and other people I know. So they probably did this so they could just go to this guy Xur and buy these weapons quick without having to go through the game and do it. Put a random engram in there. I don't know, but make it so it's more enticing for the people that do play it. I mean, those are the ones that are, obviously spending the money and telling you what's up. So why not cater to them? What's the big deal of leaving the guys who can't play 10 minutes here and there out. We all know that this game is not going to be a game you can just sit down for 10 minutes and then, be fulfilled. You're going to want to spend hours in this game. Just look at the raids. Look at all the nightfalls. Look at the strikes. The PvP matches are about the only thing you can pop in and out of. And even then, it's not a pop in and out because now those are rounds. They have rounds, which I think is cool, but it's confusing because, you got to do the same thing like 4 times in order, to win, which is, like I said, it's okay, but come on. Just let me win. Let there be a game mode so I can just play. And this 4 versus 4, yes, it's more competitive, but not everything has to be like Overwatch. And Overwatch stole that from Evolve, where you use the team-based strategy to go ahead and conquer and divide. I wish they could keep it in there, but I wish they would have a mode so we can do 6 versus 6. I can't tell you how many parties I have been in where I've had to kick a couple of my friends, or I've been kicked, and they end up going to do their own game. We're all still in the same chat, but it's just not as fun anymore. I can go ask around, see who likes the Crucible. I've heard more often than not that people now don't like the Crucible. It's more challenging. Yeah, that's what 4 versus 4 is for, but why not throw the 6 versus 6 as an option in there? And these random game modes, whether you're in quick play or competitive, is complete BS. If you're in competitive or quick play, you should have the option to choose which of these game modes, whether it's capture the flag, whether it's, I'm spacing the other game modes, all out warfare, team deathmatch style. Why not let us pick? Why do we have to always select random? Now, I may be hiding under a rock, and this may be a feature that's coming out later, but as of right now, it's pretty upsetting. 4 versus 4, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. It's not a bad thing, but why not give an option for 6 versus 6? I guarantee you we'll get more people to play and we'll have a much better time. I remember having so much fun doing 6 versus 6 because all my friends got to play, not just 4 of them. I didn't have to be selective. But, they let raids do 6, which doesn't – it makes sense, but why not let, the competitive PvP be 6 as well? I don't know. It's just my opinion. Let me know how you feel. Go to our Facebook page at Big Up Radio. Put it in our comments. Let us know. So another sweet piece of gaming news is that Overwatch, which is one of my favorites and what I've been playing as well, it has a new patch that came out, and it brings us the Junkertown map as well as Mercy and Diva tweak. So it's already live. It updates it. Overwatch to version 1.15.0.1, but I haven't had time to play it. I haven't had time to do much since I am gainfully employed. I've been doing 10 to 12-hour days, and it's been kicking my butt. And I enjoy working more than I enjoy playing games, because if I couldn't work, I wouldn't have the money to buy these games, so I'll just have to leave it to the weekend. But let me know what you guys think. I'm super excited to play it. It's Junkrat's. It's his town. It's his home. Junkrat, for those of you who don't know, is a character in Overwatch, and he usually lobs grenades at you that blow up on impact. They bounce around until they actually hit a player or a wall. So it's pretty good. And sometimes they even bounce off a wall, but most of the time when it hits a player, it's a sure thing. You're doing heavy damage, so it's definitely a good one for crowd control. I wouldn't recommend it, 1 versus 1. He's got the peg leg with the crazy hair. He's really cool, and his special is a spinning tire with spikes on it, and it just blows up, and like I said, area damage kills anything around it. But I'm excited. It looks cool. I've watched a couple videos on it simply because I haven't had the time. So check it out. Let me know what you guys think of it on our Facebook page, Big Up Radio. But that is cool. I definitely enjoy that. One thing that I do not enjoy is that Toys R Us is closing after the holiday season. They filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy, but with doing that, it bought itself $3.1 billion in new financing. It'll allow it to operate to the end of the holiday season, so we can still go get all the holiday toys from there and spoil our kids like we normally do. But what they're trying to do is cut down the stores. I mean, they're a big toy store. Whenever I've gone in the toy store in the last 5 years, I see maybe a handful of people in there, and that's usually during rush hour or peak hours, however you want to call it. But I definitely knew it was sooner rather than later that this was going to happen. I'm just surprised he lasted this long. They sell video games, toys. You guys all know what Toys R Us is. I don't want to grow up because I'm a Toys R Us kid. Because if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid. Right? Who doesn't know that song? I remember my uncle, when I used to live in Minnesota, the co-host of Big Up Radio and the host of No Girls Allowed. Go check that out, by the way. You can check it out at bigupradio.com. I remember him, Jared, he'd come down on his motorcycle from Arizona. Usually the first thing we do the next day is go check out the games at Toys R Us. And, Funko Land and all that great stuff. But Toys R Us was usually our place to go. And I remember he picked up Worms. I think it was just Worms Armageddon. Yeah, Worms Armageddon. He picked that up for the original PlayStation 1. And we played, and Command and Conquer. That's when we ended up figuring out, you can link everything. They knew, but I didn't know. You can link the consoles and double stacking of the TVs, and he's the one that technically brought that into our lives, so I thank him for that. But Toys R Us did as well, because that's where we went and bought the games. And I remember he also picked up Tenchu Z from Toys R Us when we were there. This is back in like 1998 or 99. I can't remember the exact year, but each time he was down, we ended up picking up a game, and those are the three I remember. We played those to death, and I absolutely loved them, and they're still some of my favorites. And they were all for the PlayStation 1. I remember him playing Tenchu Z. I was young enough at the time to not really understand how that game worked. You got to sneak around, and it's the one that had the level editor in it. It was pretty cool. So Toys R Us is going bankrupt. Go buy your cool stuff then, I guarantee. I hope they'll have a blowout sale, but they're trying to do smaller stores for their long-term plan. So they're probably going to downsize, tear these ones down, make them smaller. You might find them pop up in some other retail locations as well. They might be a part of store. You know how like McDonald's is sometimes part of Walmart and banks and things. That's what I'm thinking they're going to end up doing. But it's a sad day when Toys R Us closed down, because that means kids don't really care, and they're all playing video games now. And they don't really like real toys. They like fake toys, fake digital toys. And Jared is a big fan of physical media and not digital media. He has a lot of Barbies and things that he likes to play with. But on the bright side, we have a Forza Motorsport 7 demo. You guys can now go download Forza Motorsport 7 for Xbox One and PC last Tuesday. I guess it's not big, but Turn 10 and Microsoft do drive home their point and emphasis. This game will be packed beautifully with rendered cars and all types of equally appealing tracks, augmented by some of the most realistic weather conditions you'll find in racing games. So please go down that. Forza is one of my favorite games. Now, I remember it was back in 2003. I wasn't given yet, but I kind of knew I was getting an Xbox, the original Xbox for Christmas, and it came bundled with Jet Set Radio Future as well. It was 2002. Jet Set Radio Future and Forza Horizon, or just regular Forza. Sorry, I'm thinking a million miles a minute right now. Just regular Forza. And what I would do is when my mom would go to work, because she used to work during nights, so after school I'd come home and she'd be gone, I'd go unwrap this thing sneakily and I'd play it, and I ended up beating both of the games on it. So those were the first two games I played on my own Xbox. And my uncle didn't know that. I don't think he knew that until this point, Jared. But yes, Forza has always been one of my favorites. Forza Horizon 3 is my current favorite, but I'm definitely looking to Forza Motorsport 7 and all the great cars they have to release for it. And you guys should go check that out. But with that being said, that brings us to the end of our show. Yay! Yay! End of the show. So be a fan. Go like our Facebook page. Go like our shows. Go to Spreaker to listen to our shows. You can just go to bigupradio.com literally and catch us anywhere. We're on iTunes. We used to be on Zune. We're on all kinds of places. We're working on iHeartRadio right now. So please go check us. We're on Google Music. Yes, Google Music. And I just want to say thanks to all of you who do listen and who are currently following. We couldn't be here without you guys. With that being said, I will catch you next week. Have a good one.